Okay, so this question, man, this is a really heartfelt question. And I just want to preface this with, I am not answering this question out of even understanding or knowing what it's like to be in these shoes, because this is not something that I personally have experienced.
And we have like 9 minutes.
We have experienced miscarriage, but we have not experienced infertility. And the question is, why does God allow you to go through infertility? What does he think about infertility treatments? So first of all, I just want to say God sees you. He sees the desire of your heart. He hears you. And I think it goes back to even your prayers, they are being heard. But sometimes God doesn't answer the prayers like we think he should. And I think that goes back, then we have to take it even one step further. If God does not answer that prayer request, does your hope and your trust in him still remain secure? So one thing that you need to know is you're not alone. The Bible is actually filled with a lot of women who struggled with infertility.
That's good, yeah.
Sarah and Hannah and Rachel, Elizabeth in the New Testament, with
Ruth.
John, Ruth. There's many women, many people who struggled with infertility. Also, scripture never promises married couples children. That's never like, you will get married and you will have children. That's not a promise. Regardless, though, any way a child is conceived is ultimately from God. So whether you choose to go down that IVF route or choose to just surrender to whatever God has naturally, ultimately, if a pregnancy occurs, it's because God has given conception.
Right. It's like Ruth chapter 4.
Yeah.
When Ruth and Boaz got married, it specifically said God gave them conception.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, just why does God allow us to go through infertility or allow people to go through infertility? One verse that I was just thinking of today, actually a few that came to mind, was 1 Peter chapter 1. Verse 6 says, "In this you rejoice, though now for a little while, if necessary, you have been grieved by various trials, so that the tested genuineness of your faith, more precious than gold that perishes, though it is tested by fire, may be found to result in praise and glory and honor at the revelation of Jesus Christ." And then on in 1 Peter chapter 4, he says, "Beloved, do not be surprised at the fiery trial when it comes upon you to test you, as though something strange were happening to you, but rejoice insofar as you share Christ's suffering." So one reason that I think trials and struggles happen is ultimately to draw us near to God. And I know for us personally, trials have been probably the main catalyst for growth in our own walks with the Lord. Trials and hard things that we've gone through. But I really believe that infertility is another opportunity for you to draw near to Christ, and to see him be the comforter and give you peace in the midst of your unknown. James was talking about how trials embraced are really opportunities to produce steadfastness and to prove your faith and say, God, I trust you even if this prayer request isn't answered, even if this desire of my heart isn't given. God, I still trust you. Now, just a little bit on God's thoughts on infertility treatments. That was not a thing in the Bible. So I can't point you to a specific scripture that says, hey, IVF or whatever route you choose is okay to go through. I think that is something that you need to pray a lot about. You need to do your own research and have some really good discussions about that to make sure that things are done in a way that God would be honored, to make sure that any fertilized embryos have a chance at life, because that's what they need. They need a chance at life. So stop and really pray, seek out do some research, understand what you're getting yourself into, surround yourself with some godly people in prayer, and then, however God leads, proceed in confidence. But I think probably one of the biggest questions here is, are you treasuring Christ above your desires for a baby? And we could take that to any situation. Are you treasuring Christ above the hope for marriage one day? Are you treasuring Christ above the desire for that dream job or a lot of money or whatever? Your faith will be tested over time. And it's an opportunity for growth, and it's an opportunity for you to trust God and to worship him regardless as to whether he's going to answer that specific prayer request or not.